Yes, Shalom, Israel again. This is I.S.U.P.K. Triangle Bagel. Right, again, I.S.U.P.K. started out of 125th Street, SHALAM, New York. Again, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. Right, and Christian of SHALAM. Right, again, tonight is Monday night. Again, here in Trinidad, we do our scripture background class every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Again, tune in. Again, log on to all our social media page and check us out at I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago, right? And if you reside again in the vicinity as again at Point 14, you check us out at Morris Street, Point 14, right? Is the location of the school, right? So just a reminder to brothers and sisters, who live in the area of Point 14. Again, if you go up on the web page, you have a number, right? You have a WhatsApp number, and you have a direct number where brothers and sisters can reach out to, right? So again, as we continue to remind our brothers and sisters that we continue to, push this truth, just as the men before us continue to do that. Be the example, we continue to walk under their footsteps, just like the prophets did and men that came up under them. Right? These are reminders to our brothers and sisters. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the classes and then, right? Right? So again, as we continue to bring the reminder, as we continue to, bring this truth out, and a lot of history behind, everything that we as a people have been patronizing or partaking in. There was always history behind. Just like the heathens and them would go and look up and remind their children about the history of us. It's the same way that coming into the truth and understanding that there's a lot of history out there, but we as a people don't really like to go into or research the history of these heathens and because of that, we continue to be or sit down under their hand in oppression. And the Most High God always made that way back out to us as a people. And this is why now, here in Trinidad and Tobago, I did not dare call this time of the year, they call this time of the year the Carnival season. And with that being that time, a lot of reveling, a lot of, drunkenness, a lot of, things that our people patronate in, and because of not understanding, culture and custom, and what, the history behind it was, is we would look at it as, a time of fun, but really and truly, when we go and, we go back and we will read, a little history on Carnival, right? So, yes, I don't know. That's another article. That's another article. Yeah, it's the reason. Yeah, Slovakia, after that, just checking the audio and so on, so forth, coming through, right? So again, as very talk on the history of Carnival again, we have a history that our people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians will not go into, and because again of ways and the customs that we've been brought up under, we continue to mimic these ways and customs that we are brought up under, and we pattern our lifestyle around it. But now the Most High God, always, had men, to bring this truth out, to bring that reminder out. And these men were again the men that we read about in our records, or read about in the Bible, which is our history, or recorded book. And every time we read out of our history, we realize that the men that the men that hold, and brought all these records, always, brought reminders, onto our people and the nation. This is why, again, our customs and our culture, in order for us to understand and know about our customs and our culture, we must go back to our history, which is the Bible. And because of, moving away and not following our customs and our culture, this is the, as we say, the situation or the position that we are in currently. We are under the hands or in the hands of our oppressor. And when we say our oppressor, the people then that, the Most High God set above us because of our disobedience and because of us not following, these laws, statutes, and commandments. And this is why, again, it's so important that we read or we bring these reminders out to our brothers and sisters. Right? Yeah, you have the article? Yes. Yeah, the article, yeah. Yeah, now send it to you directly. Yeah, what's up? That's, when I get time to that, put it on the very So what we're going to read about, we're going to just read a little history, on Carnival, and we'll see, or we'll ask brothers and sisters if it's anything like, what took place at that time, if it's the same thing that is being practiced, in in our culture, today. And this is why, again, these is reminders unto us. Right? So after yeah, go ahead.
The history of Carnival Carnival is a celebration, a time when the soul is blasting, the waistline is melting, and people from all walks of life can get together to dance and express joy. Not only is it a time of celebration, but it's also a form of resistance.
Right. So now they're saying that even though that they're saying that it's a time where everybody come together, they still come to the bottom and say that form of resistance. So now, why it is now they saying that everybody coming together, but then the resistance, then it must have a history behind that resistance, right? Go ahead.
Carnival in general originated in the late 18th century and was born out of resistance. French planters, slaves, and free people of color from neighboring islands immigrated to Trinidad following the Spanish cedula of population period of 1782.
Right. So now when you go back now to that time now, this cellular again or population edict. Now this was the like identity. You know they had as I say they had a section or a number of people where they had identity and they know who was who, right? And again, this was the time, as we say, as we read on, we will get more on it. Go ahead, Dr. Bishop.
Shortly after immigration, different settlers and free people of color alike held annual masquerade balls.
Right. These, and then again, we could go back and we could read in our records in time at the Maccabees, where certain customs and cultures just like this was happening. And they now brought their custom and their culture to this side. That's why it's saying now, free people of color alike. Right? So now we're telling you that these people that was doing this was just like one another, for the same people, right? And they held this annual ball, right? Go ahead.
The slaves who were excluded from the masqueraders decided to enact their own form of carnival in the slave quarters where they were allowed the the young of the earth.
Right. So now that space is as you say, that would just mean the space that they would occupy, or what they were given by their slave masters. So now they look at what the slave master practice, or what custom and culture that he patronate in. And they themselves now say, hey, this as we say, this space that they gave us, know what we will do? Just like they have in a ball, we would have a ball. And again, this is why now again we are high holidays, we are feast days. And what the oppressor did now, he broke all, as we say, his customs and his culture in close proximity, where our high holy days would fall on, our feast days would fall on. So now what would happen now? Now we would, without understanding or without knowing our history, and this is why we say, hey, this Bible is our record of history. Because now when we go back and we look at the time, certain feast days, certain high holy days, you would see that the oppressor always had something, or one of his, as we say, holidays, or one of his customs being, partake or patrioted around that time. Because now, as we say, we're in the month of February, and our next upcoming feast day is the Feast of Purim. And you can go back and you can read in the book of Esther the history behind, the Purim, why, it was, you know, ordained to be a feast and a remembrance or reminder to us throughout our generations. And now we see here around this time now, we will be in the time where, like we say, the season that we are in right now is Carnival season. Then coming up right after that is, is Valentine's. So now you would see or this oppressor now, having, his holidays in close proximity with the feast days that, us as a people, or as we say, the true Jews of the Bible, or as we say, children of Jacob, Israelites, would patronate or would keep in recognition, where the Most High God, would deliver us from, you know, any confrontation with our enemies, and He would bring them to their, as we say, to their knees, or bring them to utter destruction. And this is why now these are reminders unto us, right? So, yes, yes, right. So it says, right, that the slaves who were excluded from the masquerade that decided to entice their own carnival in the slave quarters, where they were allowed a modicum of freedom, right? But this was the only space that that they were free. So now they would use or occupy that space. Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Their evidence came to be known as Angola or Angola, since they were held at the same time as the Millennium Harvest period.
Right. So now you go back and you see that you see where there's called Angola, and you see, as you say, something that grew over a period of time, in the country, which where they see stick fighting. And what they is what is being brought out is that around the same time is the same time where that it will be the harvesting of the sugar cane. That's why I say now the burning of the harvesting period of sugar cane. Because why? At this time would be the harvest time, and around this time will be called here in Trinidad we call it the dry season. This is the time now where a lot of things will be harvest, and then then we end up, then we go back around, as we say, in the Caribbean. We call it, we are dry, and the dry season and the wet season. So the dry season period, I believe, begin from December, or late December to around the time around June, July. This would be the time of the dry season. And then from that time now would be the time when there will be a lot of rain. So now, at this time now is the time of the harvest, where they will be harvesting as we say, the crop or what was what we call, as we say, the sugar cane, harvest, right? Go ahead.
All the celebrations will culminate in dancing and singing. The significance of Camry is in its mockery of oppression. Instances of mockery primarily embody an exaggerated alteration of French sentiments.
Right. So now what they will be doing now, and if you read more about it now, what they will be doing, or as you say, or putting into that time where as you say, where that space that they have, where they have a good laugh, as you say, that spirit of them being, as we say, a people and a nation, our brothers and sisters, because now, as we say, what we're reading about, remember, this is just in, as we say, in the 18th century, close to the 18th century, where 17 coming into the 18th century. So we know at that time it didn't have no integration at that time. This was just, as we say, black people. And when we say black people, we talk about black, as we say, the natives, as we say, the Hispanics. They would be, the ones and them who would be, in this, as we say, this time here now, right? So, go ahead.
Timing, Selassie. Memorable characters like Tambourine would often mimic the formal dress of a French woman by exaggerating patterns in the chest or widely labyrinth hats and bands.
Right? So now we're telling how the women were dressed. And this is why, as we say, it had a famous, I can't remember, the Tantan and Saga, but it used to again, all these things, was portrayed. And now it's showing, the mimicking, because now it's like, as we say, these are oppressors, their chest would be flat, these women. And they would have no behind. So now it's showing that how what they would do now, they would mimic them, as they say. Because now the clothing that they would wear is like, they would stuff up to make them look, full. When this is again blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians on our own. We don't need, I'd say our women don't need to stuff up. They have it natural. And this is why, again, when they do that, again, they mimic it, and say the French, I say women. So that's it. Well,
These subtle methods of mockery gradually transcended a spirit of union, retaliation, and resistance into a unique form of expressional identity for the species.
right. So now when as we say, this has been done, it was a form of mockery, right? And as I say, resistance in the unique from the expressional identity of the slaves. So now it's showing them, hey, the people who we talking, this is not who he is. This is not who he is. So it shows you a big difference between, as we say, people. And this is why, again, the Most High God always, you know, had us separated from these other nations. Throughout our records, when we read from, as we say, from Genesis to Revelation, so you only see separation taking place. Separation. And that separation is because of what? It's because the Most High God require us to be, as you see, that holy people of God. That should be evil. That separate people. And this is why, as we read on, as you say in this, as you say in this, as you say, this little reminder, this part of history of Carnival, because now it's showing, we're reading about, this is not even compared to what they the patronage of people today. It's totally different. Right? So after
The timing of Cambodia is important in regards to the molding of this form of identity expression because it was held right before them.
right. So now we're telling you now the time that it was held before. And again, when you go into this, remember now these customs of practice. This is the, as we say, the heathen custom of practice. So now we're going into something that the heathen used to practice, the time of Lent. And you explain more as we read on. Go ahead.
Which is a period one will abstain from any festivities and rich foods, sweet, such as meat, alcohol, and fats.
Right? And this here just, as we say, a heathen custom. This is not our practice. So now they would celebrate Lent. We don't do that. Again, they would go through our records and set it out now and try to use or pattern certain ways in our records, to shape the mind of our people who come up under their customs and culture. And because as we say, we are under the spirit of our oppressor, we partake and patronate in his custom and his ways. And this is why, again, as we say, without knowing our history and without knowing these records, we are lost, as we say, we are lost sheep. We are lost sheep. And this is why, again, the only time that we really dive in and start to look us or go into these other nations' history and their records and look at our history in the time of slavery is only when we come into the truth or as we say, under righteous black men. Outside of that, right, outside of the I.S.U.P.K, under Commander General Yana, we have no knowledge about any history. Because now the knowledge that we say that we have about history, then the practice or the custom that we're supposed to be practicing, supposed to be right. And it shows you that we are not even practicing it, or as you say, or following after the footsteps of our forefathers. Because why? Now we're reading about our forefathers, who was in captivity, who was in slavery right here in Trinidad. And what they did, the space that they had or occupy, they would use it, as we say, to do what? To entertain themselves. And what they would do now, they would use it and again, in a sense, a mockery and mocking the oppressor. Right? Go ahead.
Thus, Carnival was a way to make up for a coming period of austerity, whereby one would be free to express themselves how they want.
Right. So now, what I'm telling you now, it's telling you it shows just as that space that they were occupying, that was the time that they would use, in a way to express themselves. Because now what they do, they mimic other, as they say, or mock the oppressor. So that was the time that would use to free or to express themselves. So now being, as we say, who you say, quote unquote, free world now. Now when we do that or patronate that, this is a time when we use to free and express ourselves. But now when you look at how, as you say, this custom and this, as you say, way is being patrioted, we are not doing this to express it to yourself. But now what we do, we just as we read in the article, now is a time when everybody, should come together, every race or come together. When really and truly now, now we come and tell me more people who was in slavery, who servitude. Because now all these other people, all these other nations that came up after us, they were, as we say, were hired workers. We came here off not of our free will, but was beaten, and as you say, was chained, brought here to be what? To serve as servants. And this is why, again, when you look again at the history of Carnival, it shows that what is taking place right now is just, as we say, what the heathen or oppressor would use again as one of his tools to keep us in that oppression. So now as we say, our children, our grandchildren, as we say, our mothers or our fathers, they've been brought up in a society now where, they would have the spirit where the oppressor push, as we say, as being one people. And when I mean one people, as in our motto anthem, every creed and race find that equal place. So now it's showing you now that this is something that they use now to do what? To keep us in oppression and keep us sinning against the Most High God. Right? Go ahead.
And anonymity provided by mass prostitutes and clubs and enable participants to be as carefree as they want.
Right. So now they say because of this now. So now it's showing now we say that as carefree as one to go ahead.
Music plays a key role in molding the carnival experience. Calypso music was used not only to mock the slave masters, but as a way to openly communicate between the slaves.
Right. So now they say that at that time now what they would do or what they would sing is is things that that they would say, and even though they're saying is a form of mockery. Even when you listen some of these Calypsonians, or we say the older ones, and then you would see that when they would sing, you would hear a big difference in the ones that would be singing, or these Calypso at present. A big difference, because now they would sing about reality. Or, again, as one of these can't remember if it's Shadow or Black Shadow. When I see the little black boy go to school and learn, all these things is things that they would see in reminder of us. Right? Go ahead.
The calypso rhythm distinctively harmonizes West African I.S.U.P.K music with French rhythms.
Right. Go ahead.
This eventually evolved into soca music, which in the main music genre played at modern carnival sites.
So now as time start to go by, and things start to evolve, a lot of practices, a lot of customs, a lot of cultures, start to evolve. So what the oppressors start to do now, as black people, Hispanic people, Native Indian people, minds start to wake up to certain things. What they start to do now, they start to integrate or to add their customs and their cultures and their ways into our customs and our cultures. So now, as generations as you say, this older generation pass, now the time that you would take, as you say, as the scripture says, what we should be doing, we wasn't doing. So now a lot of our forefathers before time, they would not do as the record say, as they say, train up a child in the way that they should do. Yes, train up a child in the way that they should do. And when they are old, should not be passed from them. So now what was taking place in the time of old, the children that were coming up, they were supposed to know and understand that this custom and this thing of what we were patrioting or partaking in was supposed to be separated from us joining hands together with our oppressor. And now, as you say, everything that as you say, every opportunity that the oppressor see that where he can, can benefit or make, as we say, money offer, he will use it. And again, this is why now, knowing our history and understanding, and even though going back and looking at the history of as we say, of these other nations. Because why? This would not be taught, as we say, in you know, in religion, in, as we say, in these organizations. Because why? They have one agenda, and that one agenda is to keep you away from knowing who he is. Keep you, in that, as you say, in this system, and we would end up, as you say, in systematic oppression. So now we're in a system where you're being oppressed mentally on a daily basis. You're being oppressed physically on a daily basis. Your children, as you say, your wives, your parents, your family, by extension, your brothers, your sisters, being oppressed. And this is why, again, it's important for us as a people to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments, to come back to our identity, to come back to the truth. Because now, without us knowing truth and without us, knowing who we are, they will keep on, as we say, or continue in their ways, in having or keeping their hands in the oppression of us as a people. Right? Yeah. Read on a little more, Professor.
Carnival became more important as a symbol of freedom and the final aspect of the emancipation of slaves and people.
Right? So now the drop from that time now, and it tell you about the time where these people will be free. And when we say free, as we say, because of rebellion and because of, as we say, standing. And you see the time, 1838, 1839, 1840, 1841, 1840. 7 years, 7 years, as we say, going up to 1845 is the time where, they would introduce the people that will be over us right now in Trinidad, which, is biblically called Elam, and which is known today, as we say, as the East Indians. They, again, are throughout the Caribbean. And basically, right here in Trinidad, the population of them is, as we say, has a rating, let me say, of 51 to 49. And that 51 to 49 now is like, it still have an imbalance, because now what happened? A lot of our forefathers, went, as you say, went in unto strange women, and take strange wives among themselves. And this was, as you say, was an abomination at all. This was, as you say, a sin in the sight of the Most High. And we see throughout our records when, this brother did that the priests at that time, you know, just as the scripture says, stop that plague from coming into the nation. So now we, our forefathers married unto these other nations, brought a plague amongst the nation, just by doing what? By marrying, as you say, unto these strange women. As you say, take themselves strange wives. And this is why, again, when we go back and we can read in our records, in the time and here now, where, all these things had to be put off. Because why? Because again, the Most High God always wanted us to be separated. Always wanted us to be, as you say, the holy people unto himself. Right? Go ahead.
The celebrations became more daring and louder, but were met with hostility from the British colonial government.
Right. So now, as we say, when things start, as we say, things start to escalate. Now you see now again. So now we hear about the French. Now we have this is one people. This is the oppressor. So don't believe that you're hearing about the French or you're hearing about the British or you're hearing about the Spanish. These people are one people. The real Spaniard is, as we say, is our oppressor, Caucasian people, white people. The real French, what they call French, is, as we say, is white people, Caucasian people. The real, as we say, British is Caucasian people. So they are one family. So don't be fooled when you hear French, Spanish, British. They are one family. And this one family now, again, fighting amongst themselves, to see well who could, have the most slaves, or who could, reign over the slaves and them over a period of time. And again, this is why now the captivity that we are under right now, as we say, is the worst captivity out of all captivities. Because even now, today, we can go to our brother or our sister and ask them, hey, where is your nationality or where is your identity? They will always liken it to be, as we say, the place that they reside in. And out of all, as we say, all our major captivities, we had identity. We knew who we was. We knew who we were as a people and as a nation. We know, hey, this is who I am. And this is why, again, all recorded history is so important. It's so important to us today. And as we see at this time, roll down. And when we say roll down, our king is on his soon return. And all the signs is before us right now. It's present before us. But now, in the midst of all of that, the men, I'll say the men that was given charge to as you say, to carry out this work, they have a job to do in the midst of all of that. To go and, as you say, to get our brothers and sisters, to remind or as you say, just like we were reminded. This is our duty in the midst of all of this. War in, as you say, Gaza Strip, war in, as you say, as you say, in Russia, Ukraine, war, all these things taking place, war right around us. And a lot of things because now what we know, most high God is stirring up the spirit of our person. And in the midst of all of that, just as we say, hurt not the oil nor the wine. Till we are sealed up. Because why? There are brothers and sisters still out there that still need to hear this. Still need to hear this. And every day pass by, we say, I say, Barakataya, why I was shy. Because why? The opportunity now to reach out to our brother, to reach out to our sister, is the same thing that happened to us in coming into the truth. And every day that passes by, as we say, thank the Lord. Whereby, the opportunity could be given to our next brother, to our next sister. And this is why, with that, the history of Carnival, as we say, what all the slaves used to do, as we say, our forefathers used to do, was no way in compared to what we are doing right now. No way. So it's without showing you, it's showing that we all. Yeah? So that's what you have to know about the shop.
The government tried to stifle it by outlawing all forms of drumming, singing in public, masquerading, stick fighting, and the practice of all African youth religions.
Right? So God, and this is why now we tell our brothers and sisters, hey, we're not African. Because now this is one, as we say, of the biggest thing that will overshadow the minds, as we say, of black people. Because now we always like ourselves to be a people who we are not. Because now when we look at the customs and culture that they are practicing over there, as we say, in Africa, or the children are having, we wouldn't even do that. But we're saying bowl out our spirit. Yeah, this is wise. All right, no problem. Now, I will say, when you pull up certain pics, and I will say, right now, I will say on social media platform, where the most I God is using at this present, and we show them the customs and practices that these people practice, and you ask them, hey, you go do this? You go put your face up I will say, in a car behind. You go do this. You go stretch out, as you say, you lift that big feet, you go do this. From the time when you ask them that question, you see the impression on the face, it change. It's like, they automatically tell them before they say, but you're mad, no, I never do that. I never practice that. I never do that. Like nasty, like madness. And this is why what we see in here, when we say, we call them Carnival, it shows you know it's totally different. It's not just like you say, hey, I would never do that. But again, because again, a religion, and because I say of the Christian church, and because of, as you say, not being taught right. But again, the Most High God always has reserved men, righteous black men, to do what? To bring all this truth, to bring that reminder to the nation, to the people. Wherever we are scattered, the Most High God will always raise up men. Always raise up men to do what? To enlighten, the people who are in sleep, who have no aware, who are not aware of things that is being going on around them. They will feel that they are conscious and they are aware, but really and truly they're still asleep. Because now when you bring this truth to them, it's like, nah, that can't be. And then as they start to do research, even on their own, the most I God is doing is start to wake up the spirit. And then more questions start to be asked. More, as we say, more, you know, demanding of, or more knowing about, who we are is starting, brought forth to the table. And this is why, again, these are reminders and us. So the Carnival history that we're talking about, when we reading about here, it shows, a big difference from what as we say, our forefathers did at that time to what is partaking or contributing or taking place right now. Right? So like, read a little more about the Bishop.
As is the nature of Carnival, when met with resistance or genetic methods so far, the freed slaves did not let the man stop them and switched to using bamboo sticks. When bamboo sticks were banned, they switched to the use of small distances. In the process, the steel bamboo which is an instrument still used in Carnival.
So now it's where every time that they try something, we come up with something else. Some other method or some other way. And again, this is who we were as a people. Now look at us today. They can come at anything and sway us or move us easily because of what? Because of religion. I belong to this religion. I belong to that religion. I belong to this. And every time, you go back, some new religion formulated out of these records. When really, again, these records belong to us. this whole our identity, this whole, as we say, every way of life that our people would be living by, every instruction, say, law, every command, everything that would help or that is needed to build our people and our nation. You can find it in our records, which belong to us. And again, even in our records, even the heathens came to us for advice. Came to us for advice. Because why? This people or this nation would always be in line with truth. And will always be a light to the, as you say, to the world. And this is why, again, everything out on, on the platform that the Most High God permit us, to bring it out on these social media pages is a reminder to our brothers and sisters. This is what I say, go on the page, subscribe to the page. They will think that again and again, this is a reminder. We are not, as we say, the ones who would be looking for, what the world will be looking for, as we say, all the views and all the, we are out here to bring that reminder to our people, to our brothers, to our sisters. We are out here to bring, as we say, just as we were reminded, to remind them. But know this, that the Most High God will use, as we say, any given platform to do what? To make sure that, we get the opportunity to hear this. To the ones or to our brothers and sisters who do, I would say, wherever they may be, I would say, in North, South, or Central America, I would say, the Most High God will, I would say, with raise up, I would say, men, and I would say, out of these places. Because now we see, that as the Most High God continues, as the Spirit continue to, move through the body or through the I.S.U.P.K and the commandment generally, and that one Spirit was passed from. That one Spirit, because now why? Why that one Spirit is in, as you say, in this school or in this body? Because now we follow, as you say, everything that is recorded in our history. And we teach our people about their history. The Christian, as you say, religious leader, don't do that, the imam don't do that. As you say, as you say, all the pastors, name them, different denominations. And as you see, as they're being revealed on a daily basis, know this is the Most High God, like, hey, just as the scripture says, who gave you permission to go out and speak? Who anointed you to open your mouth? And this is why they will be charged, and this is why all the ways that say, all the filthy, dirty ways will be exposed, will be brought to light. Because why? They can't hide no more. They live so lavishly, they eat so lavishly, and they didn't care about the brother, they didn't care about the sister. And just as our kids say, hey, when I was hungry, you didn't clothe me. When I was me, you didn't feed me. You didn't feed me. And that's how you say it. But now you're looking for a reward. Know this. It's time, as you see, that our brothers and sisters should wake up. As you see, get up out of sleep. Go ahead, lady, that will know.
Carnival symbolizes defiance and liberation, but also egoistic paranoia and identity. Shalat is the most important because it includes fundamentally influence Carnival and Shalat culture.
So now we see how we come back around now. The play now. as you see, when these other nations, join in the culture, the ways, now we become, just as you say, our report say, we become that melting pot. We become that place where everybody can come and participate or partake in the custom and culture. And this is why again our high holidays and all feast days, again, only is recognized by us. This is why no heathen is allowed, as we say, no high holidays and all feast days. Because why? This is a reminder to us as our people. What our forefathers did to us, what they went through. The stands at the key for these records, and holding fast to this truth, was always a reminder to us. And even today, this is why I mean, as a people and as a nation, we have laws, statutes, and commandments. We are governed under, we say, these records. And if you didn't know, now coming in or as we say, or seeking truth in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General, these reminders will be going through your attention. Then you will understand that, hey, this is something that was supposed to be taught, by our fathers or grandfathers, But because again, because of religion, because of, as you say, of the system, and because of what this system offers, a lot of, as you say, then as you say, bow down. Bow down. And their bowing out was a bow in the sense that hey, it's like a feather. You got try this, I try that, I'm not living you for it, I still in the same condition. I still black, I still Latino, I still Native American. Same thing happening to me. Why? Because you know why? Because the Most High God requires us something. He requires us to be together as a people and as a nation, as brothers, as family. Because now this is who, as we say, the children of Israel, or the nation of Jacob's sons. We lost that connection of being that brother to one another, of being that sister to one another. And because of that, now we become rival to one another. Just as it was at the same Egypt. So now we're not in physical Egypt, but we're in spiritual Egypt. Same thing now we bonded, rivalry against one another, fighting against one another. And as I say, in the mid-side, now when a man, as a righteous black man, Lord come and say, hey, now you want to turn around and fight it. You're ready to analyze it. Again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, it's time that we as a people wake up. Wake up. And our waking up is to do what? It's to follow the instructions that that the Lord or the men that the Lord put in charge to bring this truth out, to bring this reminder out. Yeah? No sweat, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know sweat. Watch. And make sure and do that. Yeah, it's laughing. Right? These are reminders to us. These are reminders to us. Again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Just like the prophets are old, and they say, cry, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Daniel, Hosea. I understand. Yeah. These are reminders to us. These are reminders to us. again, it's time that for us to wake up. Take heed, because again, just like Professor Old did, it's the same thing that we are doing today, bringing that reminder, no difference. Bringing that reminder to us, to our people, to the nation. Right? Maybe a little more about Professor.
Carnival symbolizes peace. So that is the method of the biggest entities who fundamentally influence Carnival and Several culture are the global. An example of this is Chutney Soka, which is a fusion of soca created by Indian Italians and is heavily based on Indian music styles.
So you hear all of that brief hear that definition. In there, this is today's Indian, East Indian people. They direct relays. Right?
Carnival, like any celebration, has evolved over time. Traditional Cambodian costumes hold old mass are not as popular, while pretty mass costumes today are more similar to the costumes worn in the Brazilian Carnival are much more popular. That being said, the spirit of Carnival is still alive. Calypso is still played, statewide stage traditional costumes are still worn, and most importantly, the notion of Carnival being a time of celebration and freedom are still intact.
So now, will I show you what our forefathers used to mimic? Now you know what to do? Just as we say, like we see the three people are colored, what they was practicing the masquerade, now what they do, they take everything now and they looking for one. So now, no longer it's separated, now it's one. That practice and that custom and that way, it in one melting pot now, just as I say, the melting pot. So now we have no separation with people are colored doing this on that side. As we say, our people are the slave doing this on that side. But you know what we will do? We will bring everything together. This is the way of customs of our person. And this is why when they see opportunity, they take a grasp of an opportunity. Because why? They again, they had us in, as we say, in that mental state, as we say, to bring us mentally. Because now, long as they could strip us of our identity and strip us from who we are, as we say, as generation, as time go by, they would automatically, be to the point where they could control. And this is what we see over here at that time. So we look from that time where the slaves in the quarters. Now we look, I would say, our oppressors in the quarters. We know quarters. Now we know what happened. Now we take these two quarters and the oppressors still ruling or running everything, and you still have slaves. But here we hear the thing about that we have more space around them. And more space again to run is like, hey, you're still in that, you're still in that zone or that area. You're still, under I would say that oppression. Because now this is the space that I get. Yeah. Yeah, you have continue on that. That's right. Yeah, so that's something like that. Yeah. So now we what happening? Still we still utilizing that same space. We still utilizing that same quarters. We still under that same systematic oppression. And this is why again these are reminders to us. Again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. It's time that we should wake up. time, that again, that we should wake up. As we say, high time, that we wake up out of sleep. The high time. Because why? These reminders is being brought out. These reminders is things that that was never taught to us during the time of us coming out of captivity. Right? So we read on a little more. Read on a little more. Carnival is celebrated in other Caribbean nations such as Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, St. Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Carnival is widely popular outside the Caribbean as the Caribbean diaspora continue to celebrate the Notting Carnival in London. So now these names are them that I will say, these Caribbean islands, I will say, or I will say that are called out. Now, when you look at the people who reside in these islands, they are the natives, I will say, they are black Latinos and Native Americans. Because again, the people in Puerto Rico, they are, from the Puerto Rican, which is again the tribe Ephraim. They are tribe Ephraim, or brother Ephraim. The Dominican Republic, or as you say, the Hispaniola, they are the tribe of Simeon, right? And a lot of these other Caribbean islands, they'll be from the tribe of Benjamin, as you say, but a lot of natives of them as well in the midst, between everybody. Yeah. And this is why now again, these are reminders to us. These are reminders to us. Again, it's time that that our people should really wake up, and as we say, wake up out of sleep. Right? So let's read a little more. Right? And even talk about the national carnival. So now when we talk about that now, it's like this is again, this is our brothers again and sisters who in the Caribbean went and reside, as we say, in the UK. In the UK. And what they did, they took that same custom and that culture where they were. And again, that patronation now was the same patronation, or the same culture that they would, as they say, they bring brought up, knowing. But again, the custom that is being practiced today, it shows that it's way off from what our forefathers, as we say, slaves used to practice. And this is why again, knowing our history and understanding our history, the only space we can know that is in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General. Outside of this truth, again, you'll be just, as we say, just like a sheep, just waiting to be slaughtered. I'm going to say slaughtered again, to be unalive. Yeah. To be unalive. Right? So, again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, it's time, again, it's time that we should, again, should come up, should wake up and come out of sleep. Right? Come out of sleep. Because why? The customs and the practice that we practice on a daily basis, this is the ways and customs of our oppressor. Right? So, right? So, you're gonna Amen. So now, let me just, you'll go and you'll go into in our reports now. Right? Amen. You're able to look at it now. Deuteronomy chapter 2. Remember Deuteronomy 30 and we'll start at verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the fruit which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy power hath driven thee.
Right? So now this is Moses and a reminder. And again, this is why we always echo and bring that reminder that Commanding General Yohanna is the oldest black man with the rank and the authority to bring black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people together. And when we say bring them together, to bring that reminder. Because now, what he echo the truth. He echo just like, we our forefathers are all echoed or brought the reminder to the people or to the nation. It's the same thing that he does. And that spirit has been passed down through King Yahushua, through the men that was given charge, as we say, his disciples, and it passed straight down, as we say, even to today, in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General. You see men on this platform now, bringing out this truth, they will be echoing the same spirit behind this. And this is why we tell our people, hey, that customer, that culture that we say we can't take, that melting pot that we join, this is not so. So now this is why, as you say, as it say, which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy God hath driven thee. So wherever we are to call, as we say, these records tonight. And the only song we can call these records tonight is the righteous black men reminding us. This is why now, again, we can bring this on, we can bring our reminder out. Because why? They echo the same sentiment, or echo the same thing that our forefathers have echoed, speaking the truth. Speaking that blacks, as we say, this is who he is. From, as they say, from the tribe of Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Levi, Judah. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And it shall be good unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, all thy heart, and all thy soul.
Right? And as we say, shall call to mind, as we say, as we come back to circle. Go ahead.
We see that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee.
So now the Lord will do what? He will turn the captivity. So the land, as we say, the place that we have been captive in, as we say, Trinidad, America, Jamaica, UK, Mexico. The Lord will do what? Go ahead.
That then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee.
Right? And now we see the compassion that the Lord has upon us. Because why? Because now we here today to show you how compassionate, because now the Lord always had reserve men that would not take an interval, that would not bow to no false God and no false image. Men that would sit on this platform and speak the truth. And let blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians know that, hey, this is who we are. You are the true Jews that the Bible speaks about. This is the identity. This is, as I say, this is who we are. These records belong to us. Everybody that dabble and went in there, they use it for their own gain. And what they do, they sway, as you say, the men and them who are supposed to be, as you say, gatekeepers, they sway them by doing it, by giving them a gift. As they say, what would profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? What profit would that profit a black man, Latino man, and Caribbean man? What would that profit? What profit is that? And again, this is why we must come back to these words that we must come back to these records. We must come back to our history. Right? Go ahead.
And will return and gather you from all the nations, whether the Lord thy power has scattered thee.
And this is our Father. Because now we know what we're doing. Coming for each other. Coming for them. Alright? All the serve all the time. Coming for all the now. Now are coming wherever Paul are coming for all the now. Go ahead.
Verse 4. If any of thy be looking out unto the utmost part of heaven, from then will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from then will fetch thee.
This is our Father. When he said you could be, as you say, way down, as you say, in the bottom of the Amazon River. Or you can be way up, as you say, way in the place I.S.U.P.K. Lord coming, as you say, he go drag you out. He will drag you out. He will bring me out. Because why? This is our Father. You know you are children do. So you know what you're doing and good. How are we doing that? Again, this is the platform now we are on. Reaching out, as you say. When the, as you say, while the earth in an uproar, now the Lord using that same platform. When everybody is going on and watching what taking place, now blacks, as you say, the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander GEN.YAHANNA, bringing that reminder out here. The blacks, Latinos, and the children and telling them, hey, time to come, time to come home, time to come back to identity, time to come back to you who you are. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy father possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy father.
This is what our King, Yahweh in the Hebrew, or which you would know as Jesus Christ, came and brought and, as you say, redeemed us to. Because now, as you say, this was, as you say, was a promise. The Most High God, as you say, had as this a covenant by blood. We are the only people on the face of the earth that had that you say that blood covenant with the Lord. Go in Psalms and read it. Coming out of Egypt. As you see, these other nations had no, as you see, no doing to this. And this is why I feel these are reminders to us. Just as we've been reminded me today that last Saturday that we can remember. And we continue to remind our brothers and sisters until the return of our King Yahweh. Again, check out, as you see, all our classes, all as you see, on every social media platform. We're reaching out. Because now again, when you look on a lot of these social media platforms, a lot of our brothers and sisters just only hearing, but they're not taking the time to, as you say, to go and to do research. Just like when we were coming out, as you say, or when we were as you say, in religion, or as you say, in these religious organizations, is the same spirit that that we have. And this is why we tell our brothers and sisters, hey, come sit down for your 90 days. Come to class. You see that word with a take on that, you see the effeminize it and turn it into, as you say, this, as you say, a place of robbers and thieves, just as our Christ, as you say, our King Yahushua said. This place supposed to be a place where, you know, brothers and sisters supposed to come and run, but you all come and do. But let's turn it into a place, as you say, a den of robbers and thieves. Already robbing the people, black Latinos and the immigrants. And this is why I believe the only safe refuge is in the I.S.U.P.K under command of Gen.YAHANNA. Go and look, as you say, at the food drive that took place in SHALAM. General Kakababa, under the leadership of command of Gen.YAHANNA, given the charge, the captains, the officers, the men that you know that stand on that day to make sure that brothers and sisters were clothed, as you say, in the dead of winter. In the dead of winter. Right? Go ahead.
And the Lord thy power took outside thy heart, and the heart of thy feet, to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live.
Right? And this is how, again, the Most High God, because now it's showing you that, hey, that the men that will be bringing up or you see, or raising these children now, they will follow up after their fathers, and this is what we see right now in the ISUPK. Black, Latino, and Native Indian men raising children in that spirit, and you see, training them up and knowing who they're supposed to be, making them know that, hey, this is their identity, this is who he is, right? Come to verse 11, Bible as well.
Deuteronomy chapter 50 and verse 11. For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off.
Right? And why? Everything that we're speaking about here, the Lord didn't hide it. And when he said it far off, why? Why not far off? You know why not far off? Eh? You know why not far off? Because why not far off? Is it far off? Because now we have to say we are the entirety of the book now. So it is far off. So now it's like, you know, righteous black men teaching this. So it's not far off from it. But when I say when you wicked their rule now. Now we have these records and 10,000. We have the book, the entire, we have the book. Right, go ahead. That's all right. And this is just to show the same thing that the prophets are all over in time and Moses echo. The same thing, and this is why now we always say that this book is one book. So when they come and we say here about the New Testament, what these men is echoing is the same thing that the prophets are all echoing. So it's not to say that they're speaking anything different. Because now what King did, brought that understanding, I remember. Give me Romans 10. And we will see, as we say, the same thing being said. Romans 10. Start at verse 6.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 6. But the righteousness.
Right, yes, that's all. Let me get context. Start at 1.
Romans chapter 10, brethren, my heart desire and prayer to the Most High of Israel is that he might be saved.
Right? So now here we start off. When we was reading Deuteronomy chapter 30, and when we start from we was telling him that, hey, if we are here and we follow these instructions, everything will be well with you. So now it's like, now we're reading how much generations of the road now, in the time of our king, as you say. Now this is after our king passed. Now the men and them echoing the same thing, but with understanding now. The understanding, knowing that, hey, that we's family. And we're supposed to stay together as a family. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. So I hear them report that they have been healed of the not according to knowledge.
And why he's saying this now? You know why he's saying this now? Because now, today, this is the custom and the culture that all people have brought up on that. That's zeal. But when they start to know truth, nah. And this is now where we read now, we see that as we read in 30 and 11, where it says, for this commandment which I command you this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. Right? Jump to verse 6.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 6.
Yes, sir. Jump verse 5. So now we will see it wasn't speaking nothing different. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 5. For Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth those things shall live by them.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. But the righteousness which is of faith speaketh unto this wise, say not in thy heart, who shall ascend into heaven, that is to bring Christ down from above.
Right. So now it's like you know, just as it says, you had a zeal, but it's not according to the word, as you say, with these records and them say. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. For who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Christ again from the dead.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 8. For what saith it? The word is there, thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart, that is the word of faith, which we preach.
Right. So now you see what takes place? Now imagine it's the same thing that this is the book of Romans, right? Again, Paul in his letters reminding brothers or echoing the same thing. Because now we read it in Deuteronomy 30 and 11, right? It says, for this commandment which I command thee this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. Now we see now, as I say, but what say it thee? The word is nigh thee or near thee, even in thy mouth and in thine heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. Because now, that word of faith is what? As you say, the truth. This is what we're teaching. We're teaching truth. We're teaching the truth out to who? To our brothers and say blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because in our way, we have identity. We recognize something. But over a period of time, what happens? We end up in a melting pot. And generation, just as again it say, that every time that we come about a generation that move away from the Lord. And what happened? we end up doing what? Falling into sin. This is who we are. This is who we are today. And again, this captivity, all captivities, as we say, was worse. All years of captivity of God, this one is like, again, we don't even know who he is today. But again, Rakataya Hawa Shai, Commander General Yana, holding on the street, 1969, bringing that reminders out. The black stars movement and the things like that. This people, this is who we are. This is who we are today. Right? Amen. Now you go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and you go to 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. For it shall come to pass, if thou
Not 20, 50, Salaka, 50 and 50, Salaka. 50 and 50. 50 and 15. 50. So we was chapter 50 and 50.
Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 15. I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil.
And why? Why Moses saying this one? Because now, when you are alive and you're doing what is right, it will be good. But now, outside of that, now, you stop with good, what happens? Then that death, as you say, killing yourself, the wickedness. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land where thou goest to possess it.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. But if thy heart turn away, so that thou will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them.
And this is what we read now again. Was reading to show that when the Poland Carnival, the Carnival today. Where the slave was practicing or patronizing and they say the whole quarter was now nowhere and melting pot. So now what happened? Now we, like we say, we join everything, so now we start to serve other gods. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And denounce unto this day that you shall surely perish, and that you shall not prolong our days upon the land.
And you tell them this, see how you know this, I'm telling you this. Now, when that started happening, what started happening with the rebellion? What started happening with the rebellion? When it started to get skippy and it started to get wild, what started happening to black people? What's this? It started to pick up what? STDs. Right. Started to pick up, as you say, the HIV, started to pick up any, as you say, any, yes, I record, say anything that is not recorded inside of this, any disease that is not recorded inside of it, started to pick it up. You start to pick it up because you that long start. Go ahead. And he said that now ye shall not prolong your days on the land. So now when that started happening, you start important. Go ahead.
Verse 19. I call heaven and earth to report this day against you.
Right. So now we like them we say what I say here. Now it being recorded. Recorded as you say in the heaven and recorded on the earth. Go ahead.
That I have set before you life and death.
Right? So now we know, hey, if we continue to observe and to do all these commandments, we are live. If we, just like in the 28, 28 and 1, 27 and 1, 28 and 15, one is live. If we go out here, this is the death. Go ahead.
Lesson and 2
We, we walk after these laws, statutes, and commandments, we have blessings. We stop walk after these laws, statutes, and commandments, these curses will come upon you. Go ahead.
Therefore, choose life.
Therefore, what?
Therefore, choose life.
This is our Father. This is our Father. This is our Father. Read the next part.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
That who?
That both thou and thy seed may live.
Because why? Because you do this, choose there, now your offspring will live. Now the children that you're bringing up, they will live. What we see today as Carnival is not Carnival. This, as you say, this is the Sam melting pot as we read in the article. This is, as you say, reveling. This is not what, as you say, our forefathers, again, used to partake of passion, a practice. Now they partake and they practice reveling. By doing what? By joining with, as you say, with our oppressor. Their custom and their culture, the people that oppress us. And when that happens, this is where we'll see now a lot of unaliving, as you say, a lot of, as you say, a drunkenness, a lot of, as you say, a lot of the ABC taking place, the alphabet taking place. Again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, it's time that we will wake up out of sleep. Again, this is I.S.U.P.K and Domingo. Again, I.S.U.P.K started around the SHALAM and the commanding GEN.YAHANNA. These are reminders of us. Again, the location of the school building, again, is in Morris Street, Point Fortin. Check us out. Go on our webpage. Again, we have the numbers that they can contact to reach out to the brothers in school, right? Again, just a reminder, we up on that time, the peace offering. Again, this will be our next, feast day, right? Again, on that day, we'll do it to our records again, and we'll show you that, again, even our sisters stand up in chest again. In time, as you see, of the pressure. And these are reminders to us today. Right? Again, April 20th, Durham, North Carolina, Lord's Passover. Lord 55th annual Passover. Again, a reminder to brothers and sisters, again, to go up on your page, again, pay a Passover fee. Any, any male or female over the age of 17, to pay that fee. And again, all this is just again a reminder. So now it's like, hey, just like again, these other nations would be supporting one another, we supposed to be supporting one another and helping pushing this through, and helping to partake of our custom and our culture. We say in scripture, say in the time of our captivity, wherever we are, we have to reduce these righteous acts. And this is what the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General has been doing since 1969. Right? So again, these are reminders unto us, right? And with that, right, the party class, the priest and Officer Shah. Right? We have to be honest. Sure.
Security announcement. We, the I.S.U.P.K, out of 123,000, we are under command in Gen.YAHANNA. New group of brothers and sisters, where new brothers and sisters come to the school, they are all in it for 6 months. They are here to be polluted only. They are here to check themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an intention of a peculiar person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months which the brother or sister will force each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Five, this is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 to 21 and Malachi chapter 3 with 8 to 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and it's pronounced as Mishar. 10% of every penny and increase the Most I give you his treasury department or teacher free fund. Fuel offering for priests, non-mandatory. Whatever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that will be the Feast of Purim, that will be the 14th and 15th day of the 12th month. That will be
Right now, I'll put it up.
to get the special day to you guys out, that will be
You can read your time.
and you can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 51. Reminder again that I go again to check on social media such as I.S.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.P. mental material. If your brother wants to be a super in this, they need to start wearing more black, which includes black boots, black shirts, light pants, light hair, and a scarf.
Lazy and
The special date for Purim will be Friday, 22nd February, and 24th. That will be Saturday, Friday and Saturday, 2024. When I say the Lord pray Hebrew, Abanoah. Psalm 50. Abanoah. Bashamaya, Ayah, Yehovah, Baka, Wabizaka, Ayah, Aisha, Arakuta, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamaya, Son, and the war, Yawam, Wasalam Noah, walking Noah, Wasalam Noah, walking Noah, Wala, Tabia Noah, Paul, Hoshaina, Ayan, Rai, Kaya, Aka, Malakwa, Pahala, Safarat, Alomia, Man.
Jesus, our Father,
Our Father,
that in heaven,
that in heaven,
be thy name,
and be thy name,
power,
Jehovah,
kingdom come,
kingdom
thy will
come,
be done,
thy will be done,
earth,
earth,
as it is in heaven,
as in heaven.
give us this day,
What will be?
daily bread,
Our daily bread.
forgive us our debts,
Forgive our
as
debts.
we forgive our debtors,
Forgive our
and lead us
debtors.
not
And lead us not
into temptation,
temptation.
but deliver us from evil.
Deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. Stop. Stop. Let's get it to Jawal Kutizlu, Imam Shabbat, Madam, Barak, Yahweh Basur Sab of the Top,
Yahweh Shem Shah of the top.
Yamasa, let's stop. Stop. Let's get the 2009 worship with Imam Shabbat, Madam, Barak, Yahweh Basur Sab, Yamasa,